55.
One of the things discussed by the ACC at their recent meetings is the 3-5-5 scheduling model, which means 3 opponents that stay the same. So I'll just use it from my personal experience as an ACC graduate. Florida State would play Clemson, Miami, and probably one of the North Carolina schools. I would say NC State. Maybe Virginia.
They're good against them.
Or Virginia, because Virginia used to be a bigger rival until they kind of split things up. But so you have those 3 rivals that you play all the time, and then you play 5 schools one year, 5 schools the next, and then the return trips are every other year, which I do like this model. I think it's kind of cool. And, you know, for their 14-team league, the Big 12 is going to be a 14-team league. This deals with no divisions and can keep you going. So number 5, it can create some parity in that, the schedule is not going to be, you're not going to have that same run of years where, like, you know, Clemson or Florida State or whoever can just be on top, because the schedule is going to change up a little bit. You might get some of those down years, and you can have maybe not 10-year runs of a team winning the conference.
Yeah, I mean, certainly you get the right draw, then you could be a team that's just pretty average but end up in a conference title situation because you have an easier schedule. So, yeah, I mean, that could definitely create some parity.
What the NFL does,
Yeah.
Number 4, fans get to go to more places on the road. I mean, if you're Miami and you really always wanted to go see a game at Boston College, it might be every 6 years, and by the time that you really got around to it, it may not be that. So now, at least when you're in school or kind of excited about taking a trip to Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, maybe you get to go do those things. I mean, and this is, for anybody else, but in the ACC particular, this is why I'm giving those examples. So,
yeah, one of the things for Oklahoma and Texas fans that they're excited about is seeing all these new places, and I know for some Big 12 fan bases that's the case as well. So, yeah, the more you can get around. I mean, I don't want to see a league where, like the A&M Georgia example, where they don't even face each other once like 8 years into the conference. That's ridiculous. That's just the dumbest thing in the world. There's no way you should have to wait that long for return matches between 2 teams within the same conference. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be a bit more travel and get around a few more places. That'll definitely be, favorable for the fans out there.
Yeah. Number 3, it keeps the rivalries intact, and it keeps the rivalries intact that matter. It'll make the conferences have to say, which one of these games do we really want to see every year? And have that discussion. And then you can kind of maybe get down the line of where, I'll just use it in the Big 12, the example of, look, Texas, when the Big 12 was still the Big 12, had 2 real rivals. It was A&M and it was Oklahoma. And then everybody else who said they were a rival with Texas, A&M and Oklahoma were. And 2 varying levels. Oklahoma was the one they really worried about, and A&M was kind of there. And at times they were really good and went on streaks. But for the most part, that was kind of how they saw it. So it'll really, I think it'll make those rivalry games that much more important, because they are really the ones that do matter.
You would think with all the technology, although computers have been around for a long, long time, that they'd be able to spit out schedules that were evenly put together, that you didn't have the long gaps like you mentioned with somebody not playing somebody for 6, 8, 10, 12 years. But, I mean, it's the same algorithms that you would have used 10 years ago, 20? Is it really?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
But, yeah, I mean, this would be better, but it keeps those I mean, I would like to see, I don't want to hear, hey, Duke and Virginia, we really have to play each other. Do you really? Do you? Maybe that might be a rivalry, but, it's not real. It kind of breaks those up, and you can put those in the 5 and 5. Number 2, it breaks up the bad matchups from running for years. Look, how many years is Clemson going to play Duke in a row before we have to be like, you know what, maybe we just take a year off of this and blow them out? Keeps those bad things. It keeps the, back in the old bad days of the ACC, the Duke and Wake Forest from being a game in the middle of the year for 10 years straight. Unless that's a rivalry game, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I don't know much about their history, but I would think Clemson.
But I mean, you could just name any conference if you use this model.
No, yeah,
I mean, it would keep Vanderbilt and Kentucky from necessarily playing 10 years in a row when they were both bad.
Yeah, because you don't know sometimes the teams that are average are not very good when they're going to jump up and all of a sudden be pretty good, and then your schedule can be uneven, and you can win a division championship based on a schedule because your schedule, which looks difficult, becomes easy because of just the ups and downs.
Look, if the SEC used this model, for example, which they'll probably have to do something different, or maybe they will, I don't know, who knows. But if they if it would keep Vanderbilt from going on a 25-year losing streak against Georgia, because they have to play them every year. I mean, it's not going to happen. I mean, like, they might still lose 20 games in a row, but at least it wouldn't be every single year. You get a break or so from the nightmare of it.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I suppose so. I mean, eventually you're going to play everybody, and you can't really predict who's going to be. I mean, I guess you can just assume Vanderbilt's not going to be very good, but Kentucky's pretty good right now. Certainly better than they have been in quite some time. But yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, it breaks up bad matchups.
Yeah, just long stretches. You're still going to get them, but it wouldn't be long 10-year stretches of this same stupid game every year that you kind of know how it's going to go. And number one, never waiting long for those opponents, Craig, like you said before. You're not going to have that 8-year wait to see, whoever it is you really want to see inside your conference, and especially if you're fans of a school who's always wanted to play the big dog. If you are Duke and you really want to play Miami, which you don't get to do, well, then you get to see them. It's to me, it's all better. I like this model. I think that's the one the ACC is probably going to go to, and we'll see how it works out. And it might be the one they have, that the Big 12 has to go to when they have 14 teams as well, at least for the couple years that they'll have them.
Yeah, I mean, as I said a few moments ago, I don't think it's very smart, or really, I think it's just kind of pointless to not have these teams playing each other on a regular basis. I don't care how big the league gets. You shouldn't have to wait 6-7 years to see somebody within your conference, like I said a second ago. So, yeah, I agree that this would certainly help that, and that's a good thing.
How many is there? I know we got to go. Think about this over there. How many schools in college football have more than 2 what you would call hardcore rivals?
Not many.
Not long-term rivals like you've been in the conference forever and ever, but like really 2 arch rivals that you hate losing to. You hate losing every game, but 2 that you would never want to lose to. Something to think about. We'll bring that back. If you're on the chat room, we'll hear from you again.